Alright, so here we are, and I'm doing some more Hardspace Shipbreaker, and I've been meaning to make a recording doing this particular Javelin ship for a while now, and it just popped up, so I'm going to do it. So, Hazard Level 5, Heavy Cargo Javelin boats. This is when you're still early on in the game. This is version 0.4.0, by the way, so something to keep in mind. During this update, the developers, I guess, made it to where everybody's old player experience got wiped out. So a lot of us just went back into career mode, started over, and went through with a nice storyline and all that stuff. So this is part way through, and this is one of the it's not the first, I don't think, Javelin that you're going to run into. At ship grade 4, there's refueling ones here. Those are pretty simple. But this one is the heavy cargo boat that you get at ship grade 6. So I'm going to say player level 8, perhaps. I need to go verify that. But anywho, what I'm going to do here in this video is I'm going to do a full teardown of this thing. Yeah, I'm ready to do it. The name of it, the Saucy Shaw Carrier. This ought to be interesting. So this is actual real career gameplay, not free play, and drain is enabled, so it's the full simulatory experience. So if I do my job well, I will have timestamps down below in the description, notating or marking rather certain particular points. Hang on a minute, is the railgate gonna fire open? No, it almost sounded like it was going to. Sometimes it does whenever you start the game. But anyway, so for stuff like taking the reactor out, excuse me, doing the nacelles, the fuel tank, thrusters, that kind of thing. So expect to see those down below. Okay, so what I like to do on any ship teardown is start with the extraneous stuff that's on the exterior. In this case, I take the antennas and everything off. These early level heavy cargo javelins have these, and you don't need demolition to take it off, so it's kind of nice. So I am really happy about them making this grappler a lot stronger than it was, so it's kind of nice. So taking the amps off, I use a split saw, pretty simple. Just bang away on this and grab all that and throw it down. Let's see, and let's come up here and do this. By the way, for those watching, before I get too deep in this, I wanted to mention that I am streaming this on Twitch, so if somebody happens to pop in and start talking, then it's not your imagination, it's actually somebody who came in here in the middle of this. On my Discord, I sit in one of my live streaming restricted channels. It's called Casual. And so all my friends know that I'm in casual, it means that I'm having a casual stream, which is what this is. So they tend to come in here and start making a racket, cutting up and all that. And if it becomes a problem, I will get rid of it. Or I will change myself. I will get rid of them, but I will make a change on that. So you have been warned. Anyway, okay, here we go. So let's see. Need to use Imperial ships to dismantle in that game. That would be pretty cool, actually, Willie. Okay. Let's go into the back. No, hang on. I forgot to grab this antenna real quick. So, the only real major thing that's has any kind of level of difficulty to it is the fuel tank that's in the center. The rest of this is pretty simple. The grappler used to be able to take, used to be able to move these things around, the actual heavy cargo containers here. I'll zap one of the cut points here and see if it'll move, but it lists now as too heavy. Now, I don't know if in the future, once you get some upgrades to this grappler tool, if it winds up becoming easier. But in lieu of that, what I do, since my guy is still young, yes, player level 8, that's right. I just use tethers. And you can tether them straight off of their mount points. So that is a thing that you can do here. You'll see the tether buster free. You don't have to cut all the mount points for these heavy cargo boxes. But one thing to keep in mind is these guys, since we have early level tethers that aren't upgraded, that don't last the good, you know, where 5 minutes or whatever it is. I can't remember. Some really long time frame to them. They wind up dying early, and then these heavy cargo containers will float only partway down. So then you have to get another batch of tethers on them. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll yank these boxes off real quick. It looks like this boat has 5 of them, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm probably going to wind up using 10 tethers total for this, so it's going to be a trip back.
Tether supplies are low.
A trip back to the kiosk. There. See if we can tag. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do both of them. I might bang into that little sidecar cockpit a little bit. But yeah, so this Javelin is, I think it's the earliest level heavy cargo one that you run into on the new, as of the recording of this, or the date of this recording rather, new update. So this is a hazard level 5-1. It's going to have the smaller class 1 reactor in it. Yeah, I'm going to need feathers. This is very annoying. Let's see if we can tag him back down to him, and then him get down to there. I think I did one of these, and I didn't get credit for it. All these shipping containers.
Warning.
Because I didn't realize that they weren't all the way down to the bars there. So let's take a trip back. I'm really liking the stuff that they reworked on this. Just besides the graphical, the graphical stuff is nice, but I'm really enjoying the characters being fleshed out, the story. You know, they really reworked a lot of the world building aspect of this game, and really like it. I've been playing it for a while now, and there was no real training in this. You just went straight in and started doing stuff, and had to learn it the hard way. But it's friendlier now to starter players who've never played this. But it's quite good. I like it. I'm really enjoying where this game's going. I can't wait to see where it goes for the remainder of this year. I want to get down there. Okay, hopefully those things will get down there. Alright, send him and him. So I'm still sticking to the getting all the external stuff off of the boat first.
Tether supplies running low.
This is what I normally do.
Salvage deposit accepted.
While I am here, actually no, I won't. Since I'm going to do this in chunks, for the sake of this recording, I'm not going to do it. I'll just stay with what I've got here. So, let's see. Yeah, these things are not all the way down the barge. So a lot of these teardown videos that I do, they're in free play, and you've got unlimited tethers, and all your tooling is completely and totally maxed out, and it's really strong, the grappler's really powerful and all that. And this, I'm doing this one specifically as a career thing, to help those that might be stuck on this teardown or have questions about it. So that's kind of the thing there that I'm trying to fill for people. So see the chunk at the top as we go towards our first grade, our first reward for salvage. Those 2 container boxes really yielded a big chunk. So important to get these things, and if it takes a few extra minutes of doing it, then just do it anyway. He's going to probably wind up going, I might have to tether this other guy over here. And the, whatever you call that, I can't remember the name of it, it's on the grappler. somebody in the comments will probably make mention of it. That doesn't do anything on this on these containers, at least early on. It could later.
Warning, no tethers remaining.
All right. So, for the video later, I'm pointing at the container. So, I made mention of it. Alright, anyway. Grab some more tethers. You know what? I may go ahead and grab top off and all this while I'm going. Okay, so that one's tagged, and we still have the one down here. So, I'm used to these better tools. My guy on the old 0.31 or whatever the old version was, he was almost level 10. He was a good chunk of the way through 9, and everything I had was maxed out, and it's fantastic. You could whip around real fast with the good thrusters, and the tooling would grab everything, and you had a bunch of tethers that lasted a long time, and all that. And starting back off, it's a little annoying. So, okay. Let's go to the aft section here.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Alright, so if the new players, I hit T button for the scanner, and the greens versus the red boxes, that'll tell you if the section that you're looking at, the cabin or airlock or whatever, is pressurized. So this one is not. My goal here on this portion is to get to the thrusters in back, or thruster rather, get him back there and shut off. Actually, this one's the early one. It does not have that. That's correct. Okay. Well, normally in the higher level Javelins, you're going to have a Class 2 reactor. It's either going to be horizontally mounted or a big vertically mounted one, and you'll have coolant lines, fuel lines, stuff like that, where you have to go and hit valves and all that sort of stuff like that. Shut-off valves. On this one, since it's early on, we don't have to do it. So what we can do is start with the split saw and very gracefully and gingerly take these cut points out that might otherwise require demolitions. Some of them do, some of them don't. And start sawing some of these supports off. Now be careful with this split saw, because this thing is super, super nasty powerful, and you can accidentally cut into things that you don't want to cut into. So, having done it before and exploding ships, which that never happens. So, since all of this is depressurized back here, I don't care about cutting into all this stuff. But if it were, you'd have to deal with depressurizing it either violently or carefully, depending upon whether or not you have a working atmospheric regulator, I think they call them here. So, let's hit all these cut points and start peeling back some of these carbon rings. And there's the bottom. Careful of that reactor. Do not touch it. Do not go near it with your grappler tool. Don't use the split saw near it, because that's bad. You can explode it, and then this whole ship is done. And then you're done, and then you're starting over. So, you're not going to do that. Let's see. I think I hit all these guys back here. No, I didn't. Using the split saw backdrop is very important. Go to these last guys right here. Okay. I'm getting up close to this on purpose so I don't hit that thruster. So swing over here. Okay. Now the back cap, the carbon cap of the ship, as I call it, is coming off. These Javelins have a back, kind of a back cap, and then a front cap on the front of the boat. The thruster cap, 2 points right here to saw off, and on this ship the cap and the thruster are together, so pop the thruster loose with the grappler, take the cap off, if it'll come out. There it goes. Some of this other carbon hull plating with it. Then carry it over to your favorite nearby processor for him to go into processor heaven. Okay, he's coming out already, so we'll tether, get a couple over there.
Credits deposited.
Make sure he doesn't go into the furnace. Okay, then we have the thruster sitting here. So, take him and send him down. Tether straight down. Okay. So, let's see. Thruster is done. Since this is going to be a complete teardown, I am going to go after every single light. Every single everything that I can do. Persnickety about it. Okay. Yeah, this should push off. I'm gonna get to this reactor here in a minute. Oh, there you go, there's my seam. Split up.
Warning, oxygen reserves are low.
So the goal here is to make sure with the reactor salvage to have enough room to yank it off of its reactor plate, its reactor base, and then send it down. So what I'll do is I'll continue to send this carbon piece up. Let me go re-up oxygen and all that. And then I'll just tether it straight down to the barge. Those Class 1 reactors are very easy to salvage. There's nothing to them. You just have to make sure that you have a straight shot to be able to get it out. So,
Oxygen
there you go, no
reserves are
problem.
critical. Please contact your plan administrator to add asphyxiation coverage.
Alright, let's see. Alright. Okay, so go finish this job real quick now that we've re-upped. I want more room than that for this thing. No possibility of any kind of obstruction. I don't want it to accidentally bang into that thing and then damage it or whatever. So I'll continue moving this guy back a little bit. You can use your suit to do it. Sometimes you can grab these things and press them. That should probably do it. So attach the tether straight on.
Caution.
Boom.
Tether supplies are
I'll
low.
yank it right straight off. Or has a chance to do any kind of damage to anything.
Salvage secured.
Good.
Credits deposited.
Like how your guy starts breathing, he's anxious and all that. Kind of cool how they add that kind of immersion in this game. Okay, he's going. Get him out of here. He's going to probably wind up grabbing a little bit of that stuff right there, which is fine. I'm going to send him. Yeah, let's spin him around. I'll send him over there. I was going to send him over there to keep all this stuff from being taken off in a disorganized fashion, but I don't really care. Save the strip lights. So
Salvage deposit
let's see.
accepted.
As far as the side pieces, these are the amplifier mounts. These are furnace. I will probably leave those on there. I usually do on this. Can't separate them off, but I don't think it's going to make that much difference in terms of what's actually salvaged here.
Processing valuable objects.
This is a split
Credits
between
awarded.
carbon and then whatever that's made out of, titanium or whatever it is. That mount back there. So that's kind of an elective thing. Get one more tether in there and let's make sure he doesn't
Warning.
get drawn into the
No
furnace.
tethers remaining.
Okay. These larger, heavier objects like this, the grappler doesn't have enough oomph to be able to move it around. So, okay. And let's see, come back over here and go ahead and re-up tethers. Window 2.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000.
Okay.
Tethers restored.
Alright, so when this guy goes in the processor, let's see what happens as far as what's salvaged versus what's destroyed in the,
Valuable objects
There we go.
processed.
Yeah,
Credits
so
awarded.
barely a little bit of metal. It's whatever, it's not worth it.
Salvage gains.
Just send the whole
Rewards
thing in.
increasing.
Okay, this next ring right here, Stuff like this with these large objects, since the grappler tool lacks the ability to do it, you can use a single tether up at an angle like yay, and like in this case, it's already, you know, cockeyed one direction. I want to peel it around like that. So when I want to send it into the processor, I can just do that. So pretty simple. Use the station, those yellow tank trap things, whatever those barriers are. I don't know what the appropriate word for that is. But you can use objects like that to drag and draw things apart with tethers. And that's what's pretty handy. I'm going to go ahead and grab a second tether. This thing's heavy. Tethers are your friend. Multiple tethers are a good thing. So, let's see. Sure he does not get swallowed up by the furnace, and he's good. Okay, so this back section right here, we want to get this airlock out. This is our high dollar item. I think there might be a couple of pieces in the back, computer terminals and something else. And I'm going to try and take, if I can get away with it, I'm going to try and take these two rooms, these two compartments, as one piece out and send it into the furnace. But let's take the points off for him. Now the airlock is still attached to that, let's see, there we go, still attached to this panel. So you have to take those two cut points off, then you can peel him off, grapple him over into the processor. Okay. Then airlock, let's go.
Valuable object
This way.
Credits
The
awarded.
door control switch that's in there, you can leave it inside the airlock. It'll grab both parts.
Salvage secured.
So,
Account
let's see.
credit applied.
Okay. So you have this big titanium panel right here that connects this metallic framing that holds the 4 nacelles and fuel piping and fuel tank and all that stuff. So I'm going to show you all how to get that apart, to get him apart, but not yet. The one thing I want to do is to be able to handle all of these small parts that are in here, I'm going to take a split saw and cut this glass out. Sometimes doing this on 3 sides of it will break it apart, but sometimes you have to do all 4. So if that's the case, yep, it's off. Good. So this gives me a nice open spot here to be able to get a bunch of this crap out.
Raw material processed.
Fabric
Deposited.
is furnace. I still don't know what that's supposed to be. I mean, all this stuff represents particular things that if the ship were real, they would have some particular function. So you have this fuel pipe here, and then you have these aluminum panels. I don't know what they're for, but and then the fabric that surrounds them, some kind of dress up or I don't know, something. So that opening with the glass out makes it a lot easier to get these pieces off.
Material deposited.
Get in there. Right. Okay, here we go. You go home as well. Going for full teardown, so let's take everything, including the not Pepsi bottle. Fuel line, and these things tend to go into the processor. Posters are valuable.
Processed.
Don't bang it into the
Credits
ship.
deposited.
Save the strip light.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
So when it comes to electronics terminals, the computer terminals, batteries, excluding the lights, I like to do them last.
Oxygen reserves are low.
because a lot of this stuff
Salvage deposit
is
accepted.
flammable
Credits
in here.
Salvage closed.
So if you take that battery pack out that's sitting on that bench over there, and you have all this flammable material in there, the fabric, the posters, all that, then you have a fire that started. That won't go away. So come back to him in a minute. Then we're going to tackle that titanium panel. I'm going to get that whole section out the back, and then the aft section of the boat, that whole area is going to be done. Okay.
Welcome to Venditron 9000.
Oxygen level stabilizing.
You guys $1.25 billion in debt. What's an extra 5,000 for more tethers and 7,000 for fuel? Okay. Just get the rest of this out, and then we will snag the terminal. We can leave the table in here, that bench or whatever you want to call it, because it's a furnace item. And all of this right here is going into the furnace. So we're just getting everything else out of it that's of any value. There's another door switch right there. Watch out for the battery pack that's in the back corner over there. Okay. Atmospheric processor is money. Atmospheric regulator, whatever. The guy that pressurizes and depressurizes the atmosphere, that thing. That thing's a valuable
secured.
item.
Credits deposited.
Okay, computer terminal and battery pack. Let's tag the battery pack. Yeah, sometimes these guys are sparky, especially when you bang them into things. So, be delicate with those. Okay, computer terminal. Pull him up and off the base. Oh, nice and easy. These get damaged real easy, and then you've damaged a high dollar item. So, okay.
Salvage secured.
Everything else in here, save these goofy little lights. Go ahead and get them out for the hell of it. Even though these things only give you like 50 cents or something, they don't really give you much in the way of money. Grab these guys out, and then everything that's left in here is going to be stuff that can be melted down in the furnace. Yep, all of this. So what we do is we go to the opposite side of this octagonal shaped titanium panel, this guy right there. We cut these 4 aluminum beams. Okay. Now, with that, let's see what happens. Nothing. Still attached. So, on this front compartment, take those angled aluminum structural beams. That'll disconnect it from the other side of the titanium panel. Sometimes it makes the ship shake back here and all that when it all falls apart. Some weird physics thing. But if it doesn't, then go back over here, and you have to use a split saw on these guys if it doesn't work. Let me go double check and see if this thing will push off or not. Let's see. Yep, she's coming apart. You can tell right there in the back. Yep, there we go. So I'll get to the metal framework cutting here shortly, but sometimes I do that ahead of time in case it's thinking it's still connected. Okay, alright. So everything here, this whole section, including the bench that's still in there, this can all go into the furnace. That will get you melted down. You're probably going to require 2 tethers because you're pretty heavy. There you go. So nice and clean. All the valuables are out of it. That's going to get. Okay. Let's see how she does.
Deposit accepted.
Good times. Nice big chunk up there in the experience bar. Okay, starting from here, first thing I recommend that you do is hop over to the starboard side of the boat. There's a fuel shutoff valve. If there's any one real difficult part of this ship, it's this. And I've popped a couple of these things. Getting too close to the split saw, being a little bit too overconfident, a little too aggressive, and then either hitting the fuel tank itself or that manifold, that plenum right there, and it boom, and it's not a good thing. So I'm going to try to avoid that with this boat here. Now where I'm going to start is I'm going to cut to get this this back ring off, and then this titanium plate out. We're going to cut all of the
Your oxygen
aluminum
reserves
framing
are
members
dropping
off
below
right here.
statistically profitable levels.
And I'll come back to it. I need to go grab some more O2. As being new means that you have squat for O2 capacity. Okay. Come on in.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000.
Oxygen
I'm
levels
fine with that.
stabilizing.
So the use of the split saw up here, excuse me, on this part, you have to be very, very careful. Very, very careful with here. So backdrop, like I mentioned earlier, is a very important thing to consider. So we're going to cut all the mounts off that go to this plate here. Okay, we'll have a few loose bits of metal poking around, but let's make sure it's fully disconnected. Okay, I'm gonna yank a tether
Material deposited.
right there, and we'll see if he peels off. Yep, there he comes. Okay, got a good angle here, so send him over to that processor over there. Don't want him banging into anything over here, so that'll work. Here's our nice titanium panel. That's a nice, valuable hunk of dense metal. Go in there.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Then he's nanocarbon, hull plating, and now we have this left over. So, next thing we need to do, take any of these bits out here from this
Deposit accepted.
bracketing or metal framing or whatever you want to call it. Get all that stuff out. Just make it a little bit easier to deal with. Now, the back of the fuel tank is exposed here. This is kind of more like a plate. Again, pull him out nice and easy there. Yank him down. The grappler should be strong enough now to move this thing around. In the old build of the game, it wasn't. You had to use a tether to do it. Okay.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Next, we're going to go after the nacelles.
Valuable object.
So
processed.
normally, I
Credits
kind of
awarded.
fly through this, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to make this a little slower. So you have 4 little mounts, 4 little cut points, these nacelles. There's 4 of them, 4 nacelles total. So you can tag the fuel pipe that goes to it, one little section. Boom, he's done. Go to number 2. So just as a future thing here, if in the next several minutes I accidentally blow up the fuel tank, then I will make a separate clip for that and add that to my series I have for Imperium called When Bad Things Happen. Be sure to do that. I'm gonna really try not to. Cut points, and let's make sure I didn't forget that because I was talking. Okay, good. Okay. All right. A spot here. And then we have our bottom nacelle down here. That chunk of fuel pipe out. Watch your cutter temps. Cut points. Alright, so we'll tag bottom ones first and get these out of here. Grappler now can move this. If you have tethers left, then it might make more sense just to drag him down with that.
Caution.
Okay.
Tether supplies running low.
Always low.
Salvage secured. Credits
And lift him
deposited.
off. Heal him out and down. Sticker unlocked. Got it, boss. I have to go look that up later. Okay, one down. Top, we'll get the second top one, and that'll be all four.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Okay.
Your oxygen reserves are low. Note that excess carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
Get down there. Alright. Hurry up there.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
See, we're what about
Welcome to Venditron 9000.
25 minutes into this, 30 minutes in, something like that.
Thank you for your purchase. Thank you
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
for your purchase.
These entry-level javelins don't take too long to take apart. Pretty simple. Okay, so with all that disconnected and the nacelles removed, we have fuel piping, the tank, the plenum, and then it's still attached to the front end of the boat here. So one thing I like to do is separate these major sections and split them apart. And I go to the split saw for this. Okay, be very careful. One thing I want to show, on the scanner there, you got all those little green blocks. It shows that's pressurized. So I do not want to breach that. We use the split saw here very carefully instead of the standard cutter there, because we're able to recover a lot more metal that way. This just slices it apart rather than melting and dissolving the whole damn thing. So primary concerns here are not to tag that plate right there and not to hit that plenum over there, the fuel plenum. So let's go, nice and easy. Okay, I like to swing around in a circle doing this. That way I know that I've covered everything. Stay away from the plate. Okay, right. Round. Assuming I don't kaboom this ship here, and this is a successful separation. And once you have all of that separated, we can take this entire section and let's spin around here and get upright. Take this entire section, take a pair of tethers, and this, we can yank the entire thing back. Pull it away from the front section of the boat. So, I'm not going to blow it up, Willie. I'm recording this, I can't blow it up. Already blew up one on accident the other day, so not going to happen here. That's far enough. So, if in the event this does go kaboom, it's not going to affect this. So, still have a chance of being able to salvage a lot of this. So, Okay, one thing I did, do not take that door control off if that airlock is closed and pressurized. Okay. Come back over to the Stinger on this, and you could use the cut tool for it, but I'm not going to. We do not want to touch really any of the piping right here. You probably could at this point, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it more up here on these sections. Backdrop. If this laser goes through, I don't want it touching live fuel. We're going to take these sections out. What we're going to do is we're going to, once these sections are gone, we're going to take these pieces of fuel piping out to do a little bit of decluttering in here.
Valuable object processed.
Not going to boom. You're not going to jinx me. It's not going to happen. Come on out of there. Come on. Okay. I'm careful with using the grappler around fuel tanks or any other light fuel stuff. One of the things I do instead is I'll use my thrusters, my guy's body, pull stuff out like this instead. You be a little more careful with it that way. Okay, those pipes are out. And on this, there's a couple of ways to attack this. This section here of this piping framework, we can yank him out. Because here's the problem that's presented here. The piping framework, metal framework. The metal framework around here keeps us from getting the tank out. And then the chunks of piping that are next to the plenum here bang in the way of this stuff. So the challenge is being able to get all of that out. I think one place I'm going to start here is
Oxygen reserves are low.
I'm going to go back to the kiosk and I'm going to get some more O2. That's where I'm going to start. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those carbon beams off that are around it. I'm going to separate those out. Now, I don't know if it's the case now, but it used to be that you had to use demolition charges to separate those things. Now you can just use a split saw. At least up to this point, it might be that once you get to the higher hazard level javelins that are set up like this, then you have to do it with demo charges. But normally you'd set up demolition charges on these guys right here. But here, you split saw this off. Careful, we're near live fuel. Okay, if the tank is in the way, nudge it, grapple it. Just be careful with it because it has fuel in it. We don't want to bang it into anything. Okay. Split saw him. Be mindful of backdrop. Okay. Mindful of backdrop. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so we can now pull this off. It should be separated. There's 8 points. I think I tagged every one of them. Normally, I will do this. Pull it off with a couple of tethers. Yank it straight towards the back here. And hopefully it doesn't bang into this fuel stuff. This is a little bit more one of the precarious things right here. So the idea behind what I'm doing here is I'm trying to declutter as much of this as possible. It makes it easier to see everything that's happening. So I have less of a chance of accidentally hitting the fuel tank and exploding it, or or whatever. So okay, so let's see. From here, I could do this one of a couple of ways. So this tank is essentially trapped inside of this metal framework here. You could split the front right here, get him out of the way. The tank will be open, but the piping will still be stuck back there, and we still have to deal with that. So let's do it that way. Split this in half. Mindful of your backdrop. There's a big, loud, nasty fuel tank right there. Come on up and out the way. Ideally, I think when you're using this split saw, it's probably best to keep, in a case like this, the tank at your back and any live fuel source as well. So get this out. Okay, down, nice and easy. Don't want to make you mad. Come on. Let's see. Push off a little bit more. There you go. Okay. There we go. Another practice I like to do, and I've not been very diligent on it in this video here, but when I'm done with the split saw, take it right off. Because when you accidentally do it, it'll engage, you know, over anything, and then that's a very, very bad thing. Okay, so this chunk here be set into the furnace. And trying to be careful of not hitting it up against that fuel tank. Okay, so he's done. Now you'd think we could send this down, but it won't separate because of the piping here and here and here.
Credits deposited.
So, same story. We have to chop any of these pieces away that are blocking the piping. I don't have one real set way of doing it. I kind of usually just eyeball it and figure out what would make sense to cut. Probably, let's see. Like to rotate this thing, but you can't do it. We could split it up. Let's see. How about if we split it from that plane back? That split saw. Yeah, that would work. Pull it back into two pieces. Okay. So, very, very careful. I feel stuff. Okay. Him up. Go.
Oxygen reserves are low. Reminder, asphyxiation can lead to missed
One way
salvage
to
quotas.
defuse a tense situation there.
Welcome to
Okay.
Vintage Run 9000. Thank you for your
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
So, you might notice that once I'm done with the split saw, if I'm not doing that, I'm immediately swapping back over to the grappler. That's a habit I've gotten into. It's just to prevent any accidental split sawing. So for anybody that's watching this,
Material deposited.
you've probably done it once or twice. Let's get this chunk out of here. It's an opportunity there, and I decided to take it. So that's cut, that's cut. So it's just basically getting rid of the rest of that metal framing, free up the back of the tank so we can get it out of there. Let's see if she'll lift up off of this yet. Okay, there we go. No exploding ships tonight. Sorry, Willie. Gonna happen. So there's no one real set way to do that. Just something
Deposit
where
accepted.
you're careful with getting all that framing off and around the fuel tank. Okay, there's something in there that got damaged to mount.
Salvage secured.
Okay.
Credits deposited.
Okay, so there's fuel. So now, front section of the boat. Here we go. Part of this ship is pressurized here. Let's see, is this the only accessible airlock? Damage tools. Okay. Go ahead and tag this little ladder out here real quick. So this is done in a few pieces. This is not very hard. We're gonna have to depressurize
Salvage
everything.
deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
So we'll see whether or not there's a working atmospheric regulator inside of there. If there's not, then I'm going to have to be a little bit more persnickety on how to do it. Then you have to deal with this sidecar cockpit. There's some electronics in there, several cut points, stuff like that. It's not that hard. Okay, if these airlock doors were shut, we would not do that. Since they're open, I'm taking that off ahead of time. Okay, so let's go in.
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Sealing the doors, pressurizing the airlock. Let's go see if we have a working regulator or not. Okay. Yes, we do. Perfect. Yes, 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 yes.
Air
Okay.
pressure level decreasing.
Alright, some of this is going to be interesting to deal with. The airlock is going to be...
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
airlock's not going to be a problem, that's right. It'll open both the doors up there. This guy in here, the area that's surrounding this, is probably going to make a little racket. So there's usually no real objects in there. Just make sure you hold on to something when you decompress. Boom. Okay, good. Alright. Now we are depressurized. Split saw time. I want to start separating some of these things, but we have power cells, we have 2 airlocks. Let's take the front cap off real quick. I don't want to damage that mountain. Careful with that. Got these 4 cut points. And actually, yep. There she goes. She's already splitting up right there. This is what I call the front cap of these javelins. These early ones have these heat sinks in them. This whole area is different on the higher level ones. You'll have power regulator, a bunch of other crap in here, so it takes a little bit longer to take these things apart. I'm going to need to re-up fuel and oxygen here in a minute. Okay, so we'll move him out and around. Going to grab his heat sink. He comes right off. And again, just like the reactor earlier, I want a straight shot down, or out and down the barge as possible. Okay, let's get him from being
Salvage secured.
sticky right
Account
there.
credit
There we
applied.
go. Send you off to the processor. Has anything else on him of value? It's just the cap of the boat. Okay. Let's see what we got here. That is still pressurized, that sidecar. So
Valuable object processed.
let's
Credits
see
deposited.
if there's a regulator in him. Oh, should seal the doors back
Airlock
there.
pressure levels increasing. Warning. Your oxygen reserves are dropping below statistically profitable levels.
Hang on a minute. I'm gonna turn right back around.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Okay, I forgot to go do that. Let me go do that real quick. Some people play with the drain enabled. Some people don't. I like it enabled. I like the challenge of it. But sometimes you're doing videos like this, it's a little annoying.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Trying to demonstrate how to do something, and you have to stop, drop everything you're doing to go handle it. Okay, so now we're going to go in here. And normally on ships, I like to depressurize
Airlock
the
pressure
entire
levels
thing first.
increasing.
Pressurized cabins, they're just nothing but problems. There's nothing good that you gain out of it. Do we have a working regulator? We do. Good. All right.
Air pressure level decreasing.
May have a data drive in here somewhere. it is. Damn it, I did not mean to hit it. It's too far away, I was going to try and grab that thing. Alright, with him done, let's take these points off. And then there's 2 in the back. Okay, and then what I need to do is go pop outside. That door not opening. Okay. And this is still mounted up top. So, you ever get stuck in the sidecar and have to do this? We know it's not pressurized on that. Well, the airlock is. So, I have no choice but to do it this way.
Processing valuable object.
There.
Credits awarded.
If you ever get in a little conundrum like that, you can do that. Now, I went off to the side on purpose. If in the event that the pressurized airlock decided to throw a chunk of the door at me and hit my guy and kill me. Okay, these mounts up here. Then hopefully I can get that data drive back, or I might have accidentally destroyed it doing that. It's really smart. Come out of there. We're going to do the tops first. We're going to peel this back. Okay, stabilize. A little bit. There's a lot of that in this this game, really. Take these 2 terminals out.
Salvage secured.
Now with that top plates disassembled, when you go to use the grappler to pull those terminals off, it has a tendency to rock that thing around a lot, and you can bang it into stuff. So be careful.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Okay. The one thing I'm doing here also is I'm leaving the bottom mounted to this,
Salvage deposit accepted.
because once you cut the top 2 and the bottom 2 off, then the whole thing starts to do this, and it's difficult to get some of these smaller pieces out here. And there's a few valuable items in here that we want, so that's why he's not
Salvage
moving.
secured. Account credit applied.
Okay, come on, there you go. Okay, that's the wall terminal. Get this piece of door out of here. Yeah, decompressing the airlock is not that huge of a deal. Just slice the door off if you have to, but be mindful of the fact that there's air and it's going to come flying out if you're in a depressurized cabin. Okay, nice and easy with these terminals. They tend to be electrified, especially the 2 up front.
Salvage secured.
And I have exploded a refueling javelin that way by taking those things out, and that was no fun.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits
Okay,
transferred.
I'm not separating these things off. There we go. Get down there. Boom.
Salvage secured.
That pair of terminals you have to be kind of careful with, so you can ping back and forth with a grappler when you go to pull it off. Sometimes when they split, they'll shoot electrical sparks everywhere, and it's that's how I blew up that javelin. I was pulling them apart, and they split too close to fuel tanks on this refueling javelin, and then it just had a cascade failure and kaboomed the whole ship. So that is what we call a bad thing. I think I destroyed that data drive. Well, that sucks. So there are cut points back here. I normally don't do them. You can if you want. See if I can remember how I get back there. Let's see, there's some way that you have to do it. It's slightly tricky. I think it involves cutting the glass and something else, but I normally don't do it. I kind of don't see a point to it. Okay, so sidecar cockpit is now ready. Come off. There we go. Come on up.
Your oxygen reserves are low.
Let's just send him in the
Note that
processor
excess
and not mess
carbon
around with him.
dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
I got all the valuable stuff out of it that I wanted. There we go. Okay, so sidecar cockpit, boom,
Object accepted
done.
for processing. Credits deposited.
Now we're going to get to the fun stuff up front. We have 2 airlocks, another cabin to take out, take apart and all that jazz. Loading me up on all of this just for the hell of it. So, the way that I like to do this, I want to get this outer ring right here off. So, stinger portion of the cutter, instead of the split saw, being mindful of your backdrop. And let's see, I don't think that's going to be enough off, if I remember correctly, but let's find out. Oh, yes it is. Okay, it's just those 2 mounts. Alright, so we'll peel one of these out and around like yay. A little bit. The other one away. Doesn't try to drag the remainder of the boat, and then we send him straight into the processor. Those antenna mounts out there, just like the ones at the back of the ship. Your call if you want to peel them off. It's, you know, it's one of those pieces that's a combined processor and furnace thing. I personally don't give a flip to separate it off. There we go. So now we have no more closed compartments in here. We have nothing else to worry about. It's all open. Front to back. Any loose items that you can find to get off, go ahead and do them. I am going to tag these power cells. Get these out of here. Have to be careful with these things.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Processed. I will never get over that.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Okay, nice and easy on those things. Okay. Alright, so the way that this has to work here is you have to kind of collapse all of this in on itself to get these 2 airlock pieces out. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's not bad. It's a lot of cutting here with this guy. So in regular gameplay, if you happen to damage your cutting tool, don't be surprised, because you're hammering it a lot right here. Can't believe they wanted me to blow up this ship. Okay, so even though the mounts are cut, try to move the airlock, nothing happens. Can't go anywhere. Because you have, well, maybe this one, but you have this ring here, and then you have this room here. Get this guy out of here since we got a freebie. But normally on these things, you're contending with 3 pieces or multiple pieces that are all banging into each other. So you have to kind of collapse the walls down on that compartment. And once you cut all the aluminum beams off and all the walls and everything fall apart, then you can pull 2 airlocks down like yay and then send them down to the barge. So you laughing over there, Willie. So actually, here's an example right here. What I'm talking about. That panel won't separate off. Can't move him out away from this this ring here. And even if we cut all the points for that ring to pull him out, he'll drag off, he'll grab the airlock, and then he'll wind up pulling the rest of the ship, if it moves at all. So, we're going to do this. The other caveat to this is when you're trying to collapse walls and compartments like this, you have to look to make sure that there's nothing in the corner of the insides that are trying to keep it together. So say for instance, that computer terminal right there, that actually presents a little bit of an issue. Is there anything that's gonna catch on fire in here?
Warning.
Yeah,
Oxygen
grab
reserves
this
are
poster
low.
and get him out of here. Back to the kiosk again.
Welcome to Mendadron 9000.
Yeah, we're
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
so I'm gonna continue taking this apart. Save the strip light. Well enough there. Good, he's able to come out. We'll look to see if there's anything on him. Door switches, lights. Yep, got a little something right there. Come on.
Salvage secured. Credits
He is going to be a
deposited.
furnace item. Okay. He is still attached because we have that computer terminal right there. There we go. That separates this aluminum compartment panel off. Let's see. Okay. Another side that I missed.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Okay.
Credits transferred.
This portion of this Javelin's a little tedious to do. You do a lot of fine cutting with it. I don't like it, but it's just the way it goes with this boat. Okay, let's see if I can get this guy out of here. Good. Come on, ladder, you're out of there. Now that we have free access to the inside.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Terminal. Door switch, I'm going to grab that terminal. So, save electronics for last. Get anything that's it's going to cause a fire, or it's going to catch on fire if it causes a fire. Get that out,
Salvage
get all that stuff out
secured.
first.
Credits deposited.
But it really kind of depends upon accessibility. And in the case of this thing, we were limited. So, taking the opportunity to grab all these small things out. Let's take a door
Salvage
switch.
secured. Account credit applied.
I think... Yeah, we'll leave the door switch and that airlock chunk right there. Okay. Terminals. Get those guys down.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Alright. Good stuff. Okay. Now we want to take this wall and collapse him down.
Credits deposited.
Collapse that one down. Then we'll be able to take that airlock out. Then start taking these rings and stuff apart. Oh, a little light here, missed. Let's tag him, get him out the way. So back to cutting. Let's see, I did not hit the top here. I see you, strip light. There. Okay, he should be separated or close to separating. Unless I miss one on the bottom. Yeah, there's nothing in there that's keeping this guy together, is there? Okay, let's finish cutting the rest of the beams on the bottom then. back and all that stuff over here. Sometimes this game does weird things with what it considers attachment points. Okay. I'll go ahead and take this out. It's just in the way. Let's see. Pull him out and about. Down. There we go. That'll work. Get over the furnace. Airlock, you're my high dollar item. There you go. Get on down there.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Oops, a little bit too far away. Used to upgraded tools. Okay, I'll take these lights out real quick. Then we'll start getting this ring and this compartment off into the furnace, but the mount points
Your
for
oxygen reserves are low.
airlocks
Note
done
that
out here.
excess carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
Don't want damage to Link's equipment. I'm right next to the hab, so as much of this right now is save some time. Sometimes I like to personally challenge myself with stuff like this to see how far I can go without getting my guy to asphyxiate. Okay, that'll do it for me.
Oxygen reserves are critical. Affordable oxygen supplies are available for purchase at the Master Jack.
Affordable.
9000. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Okay. Alright, I think I got all those down. And out. One out. It's left of you compartment. Check to see if there's any lights, anything else valuable on it that's missed, because it happens a lot. Nope. Okay. We're going over to the furnace. Home. There you go. Okay. Too bad about that data drive. I accidentally goofed it. I was too far away to actually grab it.
Salvage deposit
Probably
accepted.
should have waited.
Credits transferred.
Cool. Almost at that third grade mark. Good deal. There's a poster we don't have in there. It all, yeah, it's all burning away. Good. All right, so we get you second airlock. Let's see if this pushes us up. I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm going to have to get this ring out of here. Oh, almost.
Salvage secured. Credits
Is he
deposited.
already split? He is. Let's send him straight across. Bonzo Freight. What's the name of this ship again? The Saucy something or other? Saucy Shaw Carrier. Okay. Mounts I don't care about. Backdrop. Be mindful of backdrop. That we want to save that titanium panel right there, so we don't want to accidentally slice into it and ruin it. I've done that a bunch of times using the split saw. This right here, that's a bit of a point of contention.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
With it. Go. Sure.
Ship teardown complete. Cutter account credited.
Good deal. What you want when we hit all three marks. Yeah, if I remember right. It's all comes out as one piece. So lights, any other small objects, anything that's gonna get in the way. Nope. Let's send him that way. This guy.
Caution. Tether supplies are low.
Okay. Get a little bit of furnace material in there, but I really don't give it. Okay. Split this panel off of titanium. Pushed it a little too far, and you know what's gonna happen.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
It didn't hurt that bad. Come on. Just a sting. Alright. I thought I could get it, but I was right there at the
Raw
edge of it.
material processed. Credits deposited.
Alright, let's grab you, get you in. Okay. There's a couple little bits right here that need to go into the furnace. Then that should be all she wrote. It's the lights.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Scan around, look around. Left a ring back there, didn't I? That's right, that was from the fuel tank. I forgot about it. Okay. Let's get him over to that processor. Now, I don't send the tethers straight in. I send them out wide, especially on these larger objects. The processor and the furnaces, both of them, have the strong vacuum to them. And some of these larger objects, they're difficult to control. So when I go to tether them, I want them to kind of swing around rather than go straight in, because then they risk being drawn into the wrong section, if that makes any sense. Oh, there. But that tether's lifespan was short, and it stopped, and it ran the risk of going
Your
into the
oxygen
furnace.
reserves
So,
are dropping below statistically profitable levels.
do a last scan to look around for any loose bits. I don't know how I found that guy right there. This actually turned out to be a really good teardown. Very happy with how this one turned out. Other than setting myself on fire very briefly from the cutter tool overheating. Didn't have anything major that really happened.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000.
So,
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
make sure this guy goes in. And he should. It looks like he's already drawn into the thing.
Valuable
There we go.
object processed.
Boom, get that money. Finish that little gap up over there. And we're done. So, pretty cool. Complete teardown. This was what, hazard level 5, I believe. Heavy cargo javelin.
New certification level
Right.
attained. License level increased.
Good. Got some good upgrades out of that. Here we go. Hope y'all enjoyed that. See you all in the next video.